Hello.
Yeah. Houston. Feels like it was 5 years ago. I'm gonna vote we go that way again.
Let's do it. Let's do whatever you say.
Wow.
I have no opinion.
I love our difference in outfits. You're like, it's winter. I'm like, nah, it's spring.
Happy Pace presents Fartlek Friday.
So what we're premiering, we're premiering our Fartlek Fridays.
Yay!
So these are our uncut, raw, probably not uncut or raw, but basically these are gonna be lightly edited, if edited at all, content. That's basically gonna recap our races, separate from our discussions about, with our guests or longer form content.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like we're feeling this because it feels odd, transitioning from ourselves into a real topic.
I feel like we're like, hey, this is our first episode. This is fun. And then it was like, all right, let's talk history of Forest Park.
Yeah,
I feel like we just left some things hanging.
Yeah, we left everyone on a cliffhanger
for a month.
Yeah, for a full month. So this is in response to all of you listeners begging for more content. Begging, I tell you.
We hear you, and we answer you.
Hello, beggars.
At least until my mic dies.
Has it already died?
No, it's still
it's still pumping.
So on that note, I guess I should go.
Yeah. Okay. So Gretchen, how was Houston?
Woo, Houston was good, but could have been better.
So for all of you listeners who didn't listen previously on Happy Pace, Gretchen ran the Houston Marathon.
I did. Yeah. So it was good. Like I said, could have been better. So woke up that morning feeling pretty good. The weather was gonna be close to perfect for running. Low 40s. But it was a little windy. So not like Indy windy, but windy.
Okay.
Indy windy. Enough to make a difference, but not crazy. So the day before, I have to bring up my favorite part. The day before, I was like, man, it'll be cold at the start line if I don't bring some throwaway clothes, blanket, whatever.
Yeah.
So Matt and I went Ubered to some not nice area of Houston and went to Dollar Tree.
Nice.
And I bought a dinosaur fleece blanket. So I roll up start line.
Classic.
With that wrapped around me. They move us. We start. I'm still cold.
Morning.
So
there's a band
I don't know what's going on here.
Cool.
So I start running with the dinosaur blanket on. So I ran on with it for 2 miles probably, and then finally tossed it.
Wait, you kept running with it?
Yeah, for 2 miles.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of sad to see the dinosaur blanket go.
R.I.P. for dinosaur blanket.
Yeah. It's a good find.
So how did you ditch it? Did you just...
I just kind of balled it up and threw it on the side.
Okay, you didn't have a trash can or anything?
No, I mean, it was kind of near a water stop, so there were a lot of people. And I mean, honestly, crowd support, there was people pretty much everywhere all the time. There was about one stretch, which I'll get into later, where not a ton of people. Okay, so I start going.
You're 2
feeling
miles
good.
in.
2 miles in, I've ditched the blanket. Still rocking the gloves.
Okay.
I'm going. I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good. I would say I was fueling every 3 miles. So probably around mile 9, I took that gel. And going along, and I was like, my stomach didn't feel great. It didn't really feel bad. It just kind of was like, it was there. Like,
You noticed it.
I noticed it.
Which is never
a good thing.
the ideal.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, whatever. At 12, I was like, I'm gonna wait a smidge until I take my next gel. So I take my next gel at 13. That one was hard to get down. Not like because of the texture or the flavor or anything like that. It was just, my stomach wasn't liking what I was doing to it. So I didn't take another gel for a while. When it came back around to like mile 16, I was like, something's not right. And I'm afraid to put more stuff in my stomach.
Yeah.
Well, we're running along, and it's a stretch where there's not a ton of crowd support. The wind is definitely, you're feeling the wind.
Is this like the half mark?
No,
Or
this
before?
is past the half.
Okay.
I will say, my wonderful husband, he found the greatest point to be was right where pretty much the half marathoners break off. The marathoners you're on your own at that point.
Yeah.
And you kind of start to like, maybe I should have just done the half. So luckily Matt was like right there cheering me on. That helped kind of like wash that feeling away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mile 18, I'm running the stretch. Not a ton of people, but they do have these like speakers tied to trees with music. So I thought that was really cool. I don't know if like Houston, the race does that, or like the citizens of Houston. I don't know. It was really cool.
But it looked temporary for sure?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, this is fun. And I kept telling myself, because like in Indy, I started walking around like 15, 16. I was like, all right, just get past that point. So then I got past that point, and I was at 18. I was like, all right, let's just kind of keep going. Right as I passed 19, I was like, I need to walk for a second. And it was like almost as soon as I started walking, I was like, oh, I have to throw up. So I went over to the side, kind of glad there weren't people around.
Yeah.
Because they would have been like, oh my God, are you okay? Well, but so,
You never want that attention.
no. I just need to get this out of me and get going.
Yeah.
So threw up like twice while I was standing there. Emptied everything out of my stomach. Then I was like, man, I feel better. So I picked the pace back up. I get to about 21 and a half, and I'm starting to just feel very, very hungry and depleted. And at this point, I still have, 5 miles to go.
Yeah.
So it's not like I can just walk it in at that point.
Yeah.
So,
That would be like 2 hours of walking.
yeah. So I ended up being like, all right, I gotta take another gel. Like, I have to have something in my stomach.
Yeah.
So I took another gel around probably like 22 and a half. And at this point I'm mostly running, but there's definitely some walking. Like I walked while I took the gel just to hope like it would like settle my stomach a little better. So at like 23 and a half-ish, I'm like, oh, like I'm feeling it. So I start just like walking more than running. And at like mile 24, this random girl starts running next to me, and like I'm kind of walking at this point. She's like, run in with me. I was like, all right, let's do it. So she's
You're
like,
running, angel.
yeah. She was like, we don't have to talk. like, just run, just so I know you're there, I won't stop. And I was like, yeah, same. So literally, I think we uttered, I don't know, maybe 20 words to each other.
Yeah.
Of like, where are you from? She'd run Houston like 8 times or something insane. She wasn't from Houston, she lived in New York, which I thought was crazy that she was traveling in that many times to Houston. So at like 25-ish, we see Matt. He apparently says he was yelling my name for a while and I did not hear him. Finally hear him, and he says, I gave him the look of death. And he goes, I knew she wasn't feeling well. Well, I don't know anyone at mile 25 of a marathon that's necessarily feeling great.
Yeah. So, can I count to anyone? No.
So, 25 and a half, I like said something to the girl, and again, I don't even know her name. And as soon as I opened my mouth, I was like, ooh, I had to throw up again.
Oh no, poor little Gretchen.
So I stop and throw up. Matt sees it and is like, oh shit. I'm gonna go up to her and see if she's okay. But in my mind, I was like, I'm basically half a mile away from finishing a marathon. Like, nothing's stopping me.
Yeah.
So I literally puked and like, I'm not sprinted, but like, it felt like a sprint at that point in the marathon.
Yeah.
To get to the finish line, not only to get to the finish line, but also catch up to the girl that I was running with.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can't let her down.
Yeah.
So I pretty much catch up to her like right before the finish line.
Oh.
And then I finish, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, thank you so much for running in with me. She's like, oh, no, thank you, blah, blah. And she looks down and she's like, I never started my watch. She ran an entire marathon and did not start her watch.
I know that feeling.
I was like, that is Elaine. This would
You
happen.
found your Elaine.
Yeah.
We'll find your running angel on the race.
So yeah, so.
What are your biggest takeaways from all of that?
Well, I mean, I PR'd still.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Let's go over time.
Yeah. So my previous PR, which obviously we all know I was not happy with, was 4 hours and 38 minutes and some change. This one pretty much hit it right on the dot of 4 hours and 20 minutes.
Woohoo!
Obviously.
420 places.
Woo, yeah. Obviously things could have gone a little better, but I think knocking almost 20 minutes off is pretty good.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna change about your next marathon?
Well,
Your training, your execution, your...
I don't think my training, I think I've obviously overanalyzed the throwing up for a while now.
Okay.
And there was a training run where I was really hungry, like I got hungry and I started feeling nauseous.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm probably not taking in enough calories. So I actually am gonna start trying out some like higher carb and calorie content gels and just see kind of what works. Because that's the only thing I can think of, because I had plenty of water, so it wasn't like I was dehydrated. I had electrolytes. I don't think I had too much water or electrolytes.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing I did during training. So that's the only thing I can think of.
That, and it could have just been that you had race day nerves.
Or that I ate something weird the day before.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Well, all you gotta do is do more marathons to find out what works.
Easier said than done. But I will say Houston, overall, great race, great crowd support. I mean, you're pretty packed in there when you're running with the half marathoners. Like, I was hot with all the people around me.
Oh my goodness. And not because of the dino blanket.
Not because of the dino blanket.
R.I.P. You served your purpose.
Yes. Like I said, it was good. Could have been better, but I will take it. And I mean, I think my training was pretty spot on, because there was multiple times in the race when I was like, okay, I did a 9-mile workout faster than this pace. I can do this.
Yeah. Funny how our brains work.
Yeah. One last thing. I will say, I mean, you obviously have passed into the ultra marathon world.
You sound like I've died.
I know you have. I feel like running that marathon, it didn't feel so like, oh my God, I have to run 26.2 miles. Like,
yeah.
It didn't feel so overwhelming. So like you said, your mind does shift. Because I remember leading up to the first marathon thinking like, oh my gosh, I had to run for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds insane.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, it's not that crazy.
I understand.
Yeah.
Your mind just starts wrapping your head around things. And then, yeah, things just become more feasible. And you learn about, like, how your body starts to respond to things.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about running, is how, like, because at the end of the day, it is just you moving forwards faster.
Right.
And, like, what strategies do you employ to, what strategies do you employ to keep your body, like, comfortable, excited, but not nervous?
Right.
I don't know, just there's so much you have to consider.
Yeah. I think I definitely play that I'm like calm, cool, and collected on the outside.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not on the inside. Because even my coach was like, you seem really like laid back and like chill on Saturday. I was like, I mean, I kind of was, but I think I also kind of put off that demeanor.
You know, I've known you for 6 years? Over 6 years. I don't know if I've ever seen you, like, worked up about anything. And we work together.
Right. There were multiple times you were calling me that clients were trying to get into the building.
Yeah.
And they were on the list.
So, I was a stress inducer in your life for a very long time.
No, I would say the clients were more the
Gotcha.
I mean, yeah, it does take a lot for me to get worked up.
It's very admirable.
Thank you.
So speaking of races,
Yes.
before we lose you, let me check your mic.
I'm still blue.
Okay, good. I've been like periodically checking it.
How's everybody? You kept looking at me weird.
Yeah. All right. I gotta use my light.
Oh, yeah, we're like the darkest part of the park too.
So, do you want to describe what we're gonna be doing on the social media?
Yeah. All right. So Elaine has yet to decide on a
Early summer
race. So what we were gonna do, we have how many options?
6, I think.
6 options of varying
5.
5,
6.
6.
I can count.
6, and they're varying paces, locations, dates, all of the above.
Yep.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about them, and then our loyal listeners,
Our fan base.
you can vote for which one Elaine should do.
Our happy pacers, is that what we're gonna call them?
Oh yeah, I like that, our happy pacers.
Yay!
Those are our listeners.
Hello, happy pacers. All right, so
what do we got, Elaine?
number 1. It's called the Fans Ultra. This is one of the ones that is actually based on time, not distance.
Ooh.
There's a 6, 12, I think a 24 option. I'd rather do the 6. It's in Bloomington, Minnesota. Keep in mind, I chose these mostly for how cost effective and easy it would be for me to get to these locations without having to take time off. Because I actually, I know we're famous podcasters, but we still have full-time jobs. So this Fans Ultra benefits the Fan Scholarship Fund for graduates of Pillsbury United Communities College Readiness and Scholarship Program. So I try to be a little mindful in choosing these races too, to try to make sure that they benefited something. I don't know. As a runner, sometimes to pay to run, if it's just going to a for-profit, it feels kind of weird.
Sure.
Especially in the US where we have 5Ks to benefit things all the time, and people ask you, what does this race benefit? And you're like, well, it's just a
race.
It benefits me. So
Nice. All right, number 2.
Yep, number 2. So this sounds near and dear to my heart because I do love maple syrup. It's the Maple Syrup Fun Run.
Oh.
It's based on distance. So I'd do the 50K. It's in Faribault, Minnesota, and it benefits the Riverbend Nature Center. It looks really pretty. So this one, actually a couple of my friends, including Andrew Teratani, who his 30th birthday is coming up. Happy birthday! So jazzed. He's a great runner and an even better friend. So we love Andrew. Thank you for listening. But him and Sarah will be at the YMCA Oahe Half. It is a half marathon, so in Pierre, South Dakota, and of course it benefits the
YMCA. All right. Anything else on?
All right, that one's just kind of a half. It's a road half.
Okay.
So it'd be different for me.
Yeah, it would be.
Dizzy Goat Ultra. It's an ultra based on time. Again, they do have a 6-hour option. It's in Omaha, Nebraska. I've never been to Nebraska. I've been to maybe 25 states, maybe 24. I don't know. I used to have gone to the same number of countries as states, but since the pandemic, I haven't been able to add to my list of countries, which hopefully that will change in the next few months. But anyways, Omaha, Nebraska, and it benefits the greater Omaha area trail runners. And they spell runners with a Z.
Oh, runners.
Because they're the goats with a Z. They're the trail running community that help maintain the trails as well, it looks like on their website. But of course, greater Omaha area trail spells goat if you take the first letter of each one. So I thought it was fun.
It's fun.
And we love our local running communities, and we love when people recognize them. Side note, I figure I'll record some content while I'm running whatever I run.
Yes!
Obviously probably not the whole thing, because
6 hours?
yeah, that would be a lot. The next one, I feel like you'll like the name of this one. Feel the Burn Ultra.
Oh yeah, feel the burn.
It's based on distance again, 50K. It's in North Little Rock, Arkansas. I've also not been to Arkansas.
Yeah, you're not missing much. Actually pretty. It's actually really pretty.
And it benefits another local running club called Feel the Burn, I think is what it, or not local running club, sorry, local running organization, company, whatever,
Okay.
that has events, apparel, and coaching.
Ooh.
So it is the for-profit option. And then the next one, the last one on the list, is it is a trail half, point to point, called Fire on the Mountain Half, and it's in White Salmon, Washington. The beneficiary is the Klickitat County Fire District. So Mara, if if this one gets chosen, I'm staying with you.
Yeah, Mara.
Thank
Coming
you.
for you.
In advance. So those are my race options.
All right. So recap.
Let me bring that back up. Recap. Fans Ultra.
6
hours.
6 hours.
Dizzy Goat Ultra. 6 hours.
Woo.
Maple Syrup Fun Run. 50K. Feel the Burn Ultra. 50K. YMCA Oahe. Half marathon.
Yay.
Fire on the Mountain half marathon.
All right.
So those are it. We will be posting this where on social media? Instagram?
Yeah. The gram.
Voting will be live for however many days.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
The social media, we'll tell you. We'll link it in the show notes. Well, I think we're gonna call it here for the first Fartlek Friday.
Fartlek Friday.
Thank you for listening, Happy Pacers. Be sure to vote when you get a chance. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
So that's it for this episode of Happy Pace. Subscribe to our channel wherever you can find our podcast, and like this episode if you found your happy pace while listening. If you know of anyone who you'd want to hear from who also happens to run, slide into our DMs on our Instagram at happy_pace_pod. Link to that is also in the description. This is a House of Machka production. Our music maestro is Grant Underhill, our social media guru is Gretchen Brune, and this episode was recorded and edited by Elaine Sims. Our graphic designer is Rachel Slingluff.
Happy Pace is recorded in front of a live Forest Park audience.